So everyone, welcome. I am Morgan Gist McDonald, writing coach, editor, and author, and I help you write your book from vague idea to first draft to finished manuscript. And I run my business and blog out of paperravenbooks.com. And I take scope notes for you. So if you are busy, like Shalene Johnson this morning was lifting weights while listening to Periscopes. If you do that too, I take notes for you. Go to paperravenbooks.com/periscope, and on all of these sort of value-packed Periscopes, I take the notes for you. You'll find the replays and you'll find transcripts, so you can always stay totally up to date. Oh, and if you're not already following me, hit the little Perry dude down there. And if you like to scope about writing, if you like to listen to scopes about writing and becoming a better writer and a better selling writer, go ahead and change that plus to a check, and that means you'll follow me and you get notifications when I go live. And if you know any other writers who are trying to sell their stuff, make a living off their writing, go ahead and share. I think if you swipe some direction, depends on if you're landscape or portrait, iOS or Android, but just start swiping and it'll let you share on Periscope, Twitter, or Facebook, or pick individual people to share with. So thanks guys, and if you're also new as we're going along here, if you like what we're talking about, tap hearts, and that lets me know you're there and engaged and that what I'm giving you is valuable, and it makes me happy. So I like seeing those hearts. Hey Miguel, who just hopped in the room. So let's talk about your writing as a business. So this is a major mindset shift for a lot of writers. A lot of times when we go into writing, and hey, I will include myself in this group, we go into writing because we're passionate, we love the words, we tend to be more introverted, and we just like ideas and reading and then creating new ideas that we then write about. So we're very caught up in the creation mode, and that is great. I think that's part of our gift and part of our craft is this creation. So I don't want to downplay that at all. In fact, I think a lot of current marketers and stuff completely downplay the craft of writing. And that's honestly, one of the things that I love to talk about on Periscope is we're creepy people too. Yeah, I think we've talked about that in some of our scopes. But I think there's almost a little bit too much emphasis out in the internet world about like getting your book on Amazon, being a #1 bestseller, selling your first 10,000 copies, getting a traditional publisher. There's a lot of emphasis on this self-publishing and marketing stuff. And I tend to push back against that a little bit because I think first you have to begin with writing that is really, really well crafted. But I don't want to just let you hang out in that space of writing. I know you love the writing, that's why you're here, but you can't just sit in a dark room and write. You can, but no one will read it. And what's the point of writing unless someone reads it? And so I would love for you to kind of spend some time thinking about how your writing is not just a hobby, it's a business. And I know a lot of people don't really like to think of writing as a business because it makes it feel like you're in it for the money, you're in it for the profit, that kind of thing. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can be in it for the business just because you're a realist and you understand that readers are consumers. And so a lot of the ways in which writers reach their readers is very parallel to how business people reach their customers. You're an entrepreneur anyway, so you are totally up on this. Yeah, I think there is more and more of a trend of writers becoming much more entrepreneurial because we're starting to realize that because we are the ones who are putting our writing out there, we don't have businesses like traditional publishers doing it for us as much anymore. We're taking on that role and we're becoming, the publicity department of a traditional publisher, and that's fantastic. So today, then we're going to be talking more about this over the next few days. This is kind of like the theme of the week. Marketing and management. Managing yourself is definitely a big part of being a writer, that's for sure. But I want to try to encourage you to start thinking about your writing as a portion of as really part of a business plan. So here's the truth. You can be a phenomenal writer and sell 0 books. You can be a kind of crappy writer and be a bestseller. Like, it sucks, but that's the truth. And so how does this happen? Why does this happen? I think that you can be a good writer with not a whole lot of business savvy, and you can both become a better writer. Thanks, Aisha. Yeah, it is true. You can become a better writer, and you can become a better business person. So that's what I really would like to encourage you to do, is as you are increasing in your craft of becoming a better writer, also be increasing your business savvy and starting to think about your writing as a business. So first, the first shift is the books are not just brilliant pieces of writing. The books are a product. They are a very special product because you believe this book will cause some sort of shift, change, or transformation in your reader's life. That's the point, right? Whether it's a blog post or a thesis or a full-on book, the point of the writing is to cause some change in perspective, a change in behavior, a change in anything. You know, there's always a change that you're bringing to your reader. And so how do we first contact those readers who we want to change their lives? How do we get in touch with them so that we can say, here's this book that'll change your life? And second, once they read one of our books or pieces of writing, how do we stay in touch with them so that when we produce more, because you're not a one-book wonder, you know, you're going to write more, how do we stay in touch with them so that when we produce more, we can come back and say, you liked what I wrote previously, I have another one for you. So those are kind of our two main goals. And so I don't want to overcomplicate this. I want to break it down into the real basics here. Get in touch, stay in touch. That's what we're doing, right? Thanks, guys, for the hearts. Okay, so if you were just starting out, and Miguel may already kind of be onto this, so we'll do sort of some 101 stuff, and then I'll give you some extra resources for continuing to build. So 101, if you're an author, you need 3 things. You need a website, a real website with a real domain name that has something to do with your name as an author, preferably. If y'all follow Ron Estrada, his website is ronestradaBooks.com. So you need a website, just if nothing else, to showcase your author bio, what you've written, and a place where people can get on your email list. Question for you. Do you know what an email list is? Yes or no, please. So that I'm happy to explain more about what an email list is, but just type in the chat if you know what an email list is. Johnny says yes. Miguel says sort of. Anybody else? I know there's some other people in here. Not really. Okay. Yeah. So I do think you need a website no matter what kind of writing you're doing, whether you're doing blogs, academic theses, you know, or books. You need a website. An email list is just merely a list of people who are interested in your writing. Okay, and so obviously they need a way for you to get in touch with them. You've probably seen this on other websites, there is usually a little box where you put your name and your email. Now what that does when you put your name and email is it goes into a third-party software that simply maintains a list for the person who owns that box. So on my website, I have a box where you can put your name and email. I use a company called Aweber, A-W-E-B-E-R. When you put your name and email in, all that does is I have this huge list of names and emails of people who said, I like what you write and I want to hear more. That's it. And when I go to send out an email, it is very much like sending out an email on Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, Outlook, whatever. But it's just maintained by someone else. It's maintained by a third party because it's a big list and it would explode my Gmail account. That's not true. It's not that big. I mean, I probably have between 300 and 400 at this point. But that's enough that I don't want to manage it inside my own Gmail account. And it has some auto stuff in there, so when you fill in the box, it automatically puts your email on that list. And if ever you decide you don't want to be on the list, there's a little button in the email that lets you unsubscribe from that list. So there are a couple of things like that that's why we use a third-party service. The lists get big, and it has some automatic stuff like auto sign up and auto unsubscribe. So you just need literally a list of Miguel and his email address, Aisha and her email address, Johnny and her email address, so that I can reach out to you and say, I've got this new book out in case you want to read it. That's all an email list is. Now you can get really deep into how to get people on that email list, but website and then a service, a third-party service like Aweber, A-W-E-B-E-R is one I use. There's also MailChimp, M-A-I-L, Chimp, C-H-I-M-P, like the monkey, MailChimp. Okay, so website, email list, and when you have people email you, make sure it's, number 3, a professional email. So when you do your website and you have, you know, yourname.com, have an email address that goes with it, you know? I don't know anybody's last name here. Miguel, I don't know, Madam Miguel, I don't know your last name. MiguelBrazil.com. No, Charles is at Brazil. Okay, I'll use Charles. CharlesBrazil.com. And then your email address could, Rubio, there you go, MiguelRubio.com. And your email address would be Miguel@MiguelRubio.com. Okay? So you're not going to use awesomewriter123@AOL.com, because that is not a professional email. You are going to level up. That's part of this whole mindset of taking your writing from a hobby into a business, is that you're going to level up. Okay? You're taking yourself seriously, and part of taking yourself seriously is getting a professional email address. If you have a university address, you can use that. Academics do tend to switch affiliations partway through their career, so if you switch your email address, it can get kind of confusing. I would still recommend, even if you have an institutional affiliation, that you go ahead and get your own, like domain.com with your own name at domain.com, because it looks really nice and professional, and then you have a cohesive image. And then if you don't want people to know where you're teaching right now, you don't have to, you know, let them know. So that's my recommendation. Website, email list, professional email. Okay, so now my challenge to you is to start reading business books. Now this may feel a little bit weird at first because we're so used to reading about the craft of writing, but I will say that once I started taking my own business really seriously about 3 years ago and started reading business books, I was like, oh my gosh, all of this applies so much to writers. Like even though the books are speaking directly to entrepreneurs who are starting like tech businesses, you're way ahead of me. I'll give you some of my favorites too, Miguel, and then you can let me know what your favorite books are too so we can swap. But even if they're talking to people who are starting tech businesses or whatever, there's so much of the mindset piece and even the brick-by-brick building pieces that are directly applicable to writers. I'm like, oh my gosh, every writer should be reading business books. That's just, I mean, that's going to be the best way for you to start getting a handle on how to spread your writing out into the world. So here are some, I was brainstorming some ideas in which writing is almost the same. Being a writer is being an entrepreneur. If you think about it, entrepreneurs are looking for clients, you're looking for readers. Entrepreneurs are creating sales funnels. You are looking to advertise to your readers so that they can buy your books. Entrepreneurs bank their businesses on testimonials, and you bank your book on reader reviews on Amazon, right? So there are lots of ways in which the exact same things that entrepreneurs are doing, writers are also doing, just parallel. We're just using different words for it almost. Okay, some of my favorite business books that I think apply really, really well to authors. Tribes by Seth Godin. And all this is in the notes. It's all in the scope notes. Tribes by Seth Godin. Basically anything by Seth Godin. He's a marketer. He's amazing. The next one, Start with Why by Simon Sinek. Awesome, awesome. Start with Why is this, like, the premise of the book is that why you do what you do should underpin everything. And you should let people know why you do what you do, because that's the only way they're going to get connected with you. So whatever, if you are, I mean, whether you are, you know, doing I think someone who has come to My Scopes has done like paleo cookbook recipes, or whether you are researching third world poverty. Like, people want to know why you do what you do. They will care so much more about your writing if they know the author behind the writing. The third one is Platform by Michael Hyatt. Classic book. Platform is Hyatt's, I mean, this book is like famous now, but it's all about how to use blogging and social media to build an online presence. So if you want to know how to get known online, Platform by Michael Hyatt is the like step one classic book for that. And then the fourth one is Rework by David Hanson. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and 7 Habits by Stephen Covey. Miguel, those are all so awesome. Those are also really deeply tied with personal development. So personal development also plays huge into being a writer, because in order to be a writer, you have to be really sort of self-motivated and tackle a lot of your self-doubts and self-sabotaging problems, because we all sabotage ourselves. So yes, Napoleon Hill and Stephen Covey are great for those too. So I want to encourage you to, I mean, I feel like it's so easy for us writers to just rely on, you know, reading books by Stephen King and William Zensner and like these other classics who are all about the writing craft. But I want you to branch out a little bit. Read into business and read into personal development, because you will become not only a better, more productive person, but you will be able to build your writing into a true business that can grow with you. Because like I said, you're not a one-book wonder. You're going to be doing this writing thing and this publishing thing for your career. So let's make each block build onto the next block, and so that it develops into a full-fledged business. So that's the dream, right? That's the dream. Yes, the books are in the scope notes. I posted links and everything. So I have links to mail service providers and these books that we're talking about. And I'll add Napoleon Hill and Stephen Covey too. But start dreaming. Dream about what your business could be like. What would it be like if you wrote a book? You sent one email to your list, and within 2 or 3 days you sold thousands of copies. What? That would be amazing, right? That's the dream. That you can launch your own book, have people buy it, have people review it, have people email you saying, I loved your book, and spread the word. Miguel, exactly, awesome. Like, that's what we're going for. That's the vision behind building your writing into a business. That through, this is just like almost online word of mouth, that through emails and through social media, your book can spread like wildfire. Like, that's the vision. So I would like to leave you guys with that. If you have any questions, I'm going to be on Twitter later, so hit me up at MorganGMac. Thanks for the hearts, guys. Y'all are awesome. And yeah, so the rest of this week we're going to be talking about sort of traditional publishing and self-publishing and things like that, and more of this business stuff. Thanks for the hearts, guys. Yay. Heart party. And I appreciate you guys taking time out for this. I'm really excited for you. I think that your writing, and as you evolve into more and more of this business mindset, is really going to take off. Because if you're thinking about this stuff now, a year from now, you're going to be way ahead of the curve. So I just want to encourage you to keep on. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for being here so much. And I will catch you guys tomorrow, if not sooner. Okay. Bye, everyone. Thanks. Bye.